A few months ago, I decided I wanted to focus on eating vegetables, not growing vegetables. And now it's paying off big time. It's all about context and coming up with a plan. That's what this one's all about. Way back in the spring, I got an email from someone who listens to the podcast, and they said, you know what, this year I'm going to focus on eating my vegetables instead of growing my vegetables. And that really struck me. It resonated with me. The whole core behind that statement was, I'm going to focus on growing one thing, longer season crops, grow it well, and then just enjoy it, eat it. Instead of trying to manage 50 crops, nitpick them, and put all your time into growing the vegetables, which is stressful. And when he sent that in to me, I read it and I thought, yes, that's what I want to do. Limiting what I grew this year was huge, and choosing the right crops to grow was huge as well. By focusing on these long season crops that I could plant once, planted these back in April, and just harvest them, and that's all the maintenance I had to do. It's made my life a lot simpler. Another thing that's made my life simpler is putting this all on drip. I don't have to worry about anything at this point. Drip comes on, it waters the plants when they need to. All I do is come in with the girls, we'll harvest the tomatoes, and we're on our way. Long season crops are nice for a few reasons. The main one being, at least in my context, is they're a long season. You plant them once and then they take a while to develop. They're generally hardier than some other more delicate, quicker harvesting crops. Think tomatoes versus lettuce. The lettuce, you have to baby in the heat or do a lot of protective things to try and get lettuce to grow well when it's hot out. Where tomatoes, I don't. I can plant them in the spring. These were all planted back in late March, early April. It's now mid-July. They're still going strong, and they'll probably be going strong for a while. I don't have a lot of day-to-day maintenance on them. So this long season approach of growing tomatoes, potatoes, I have some pumpkins and watermelon back here for the kids, has been huge because I don't have to focus on the continuous harvesting or the continual maintenance of a crop like I would root veg or like I would lettuce or some greens or beans or other things like that. I just have a few crops to focus on. When it comes to gardening, if you're finding yourself stressed out, if you're finding yourself facing some challenges, stop and step back and say, should I actually be doing this all? Do I want to be doing this all? Because you may be doing more than you actually want to be. In the past, I have done that, and I've paid for it. I scaled back this year, I simplified, and it's made my life a lot easier. One other little bonus factor in growing these crops and the potatoes down there is they take the heat well. They're not finicky. Out here in Southern California, it's dry. We're not getting the summer rains. You can see this row I was going to cover crop. I just covered it in straw. I'm not going to fight the climate right now. I'm just going to go with it. I can grow a lot more stuff in the winter when it's cooler, when we get some seasonal rains. That's when I'll focus on doing more stuff. I'll also be seasonally slower then. So come up with a plan. If it's hard, if you're hating it, if you're stressed out about it, if you're like me and you don't do it well, and you get frustrated about that, maybe you're doing too much, so back off so you can focus on what you do and make sure what you do well, instead of trying to do it all and do it all half-ass or poorly. I'm guilty of that. I'm sure a lot of you are as well. In summary, think about your situation, think about your life, not just what you want to do in the garden, but all of it. How much time do you have and how much time do you realistically have to spend here in this garden space? Don't get too aggressive. Don't over-allocate your time out here. I've talked about this in a podcast. I think some people pay attention to a fake clock, not the real clock. They have an hour here, they'll put 5 hours worth of tasks out here. Tough to get 5 hours worth of stuff done in just 1 hour. So know your actual availability in the garden, plan accordingly. And then look at that time availability you have and say, what are the best crops to grow? And that may not be what you want to grow, and it may mean growing less than you want to grow. But if you want to grow it well, if you don't want to be stressed about it, if you want all of life to be easy, take this time, take some time to really plan it out and think about this approach, and I think it will make your life a lot easier. It's really easy to get stressed out here and turn what should be an enjoyable recreational activity, gardening, into a job or a big stressor. And at the end of the day, what do I have to show for it? Tons and tons of tomatoes and hopefully some potatoes down there. I don't know. We still have some time to go there, but for now, I'm buried in tomatoes. That's all for this one. Enjoy the summer, enjoy your garden. Thanks for watching. Until next time, be nice, be thankful, and do the work.